You have more than one job. What's going on, everybody? Apparently, I can't talk. How are you all this evening? This is the Dylan Talks Tone live stream that we do every Thursday. It's pretty cool. Just Q&A from various questions that come in from Patreon, from our YouTube members that have submitted them today. You could do the same thing if you hit the little join button. Guarantee those featured on the screen, as well as super chats, and we also will take a bunch of other guitar questions in the feed, and Leslie will try to do what she can with that. We actually already have a super chat that we should take care of right now before we even started.
Okay, I'm like clicking on the wrong side. There it goes. Super chat from Sassy Cat. Thank you for the super chat, Sassy Cat. Tone Cardboard. Hashtag Fender did it again.
Did they? That's really cool. I didn't know about that. It looks like we have another super chat already.
Scroll.
Gary Redburn.
Thanks for the super chat, Gary. He says, happy anniversary to Dylan and Leslie. So,
Okay.
I guess you should.
Yeah, so we should just get this out of the way right now.
Talk about that.
We are hanging out with you tonight because you're awesome. And because we like doing this. But it's actually our 10th wedding anniversary today. So we went out for lunch instead of went out for dinner so that we could hang out with you. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. And it isn't actually 10 years on YouTube, but it is 10 years of figuring all this stuff out. We have been working on this since the very beginning. So it's kind of a cool thing. Some of the questions that came in from Patreon and from YouTube members tonight, there's some kind of fun myth-busty stuff. So we're going to get into that in just a minute. You saw the thumbnail.
Fanshank Guitars, thank you for the super chat. He says, happy anniversary, guys.
Thank you.
That's very nice.
That's very nice of you. I do appreciate it. Yeah, thanks. And a bunch of people said it on Facebook today, too. In fact, we should say, and I don't know if he's here yet.
Yes.
Is he? Okay. I don't necessarily want to shout his name out, but
He knows who he is.
he knows who he is. We got flowers today from one of you. Thank you.
I'll send you a message. We wanted to show
We will.
them first.
Yes, they're right here. And we put them there. They don't have your name on them or anything. I don't want to like...
Well, they do on the inside.
They do on the inside. And we really appreciate that. I was not really expecting that from this... I don't know. I just didn't expect somebody from our YouTube audience to send us flowers. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. And thank you for doing so. Yeah. Really, really kind of crazy.
Super chat from Jim Woodard. Thank you for the super chat, Jim. He says, happy 10 years.
Thanks. I appreciate that a lot, Jim.
I feel like this is a lot of attention.
Yeah, let's get into these questions. This feels sort of weird. I mean, you don't have to. It's thank you for yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not proud of it because it's been a great. Oh, there's Doug.
Thank you for the super chat, Doug Santinello. Apparently, I can't talk either. Remember the Flintstones Happy Anniversary episode?
I do not remember that.
I don't either, and I watched a lot of Flintstones.
Did you?
Because
Thank
it came
you for the
on
super
right
chat,
when
Doug.
I got home after school.
Oh, did it?
Well, you had to watch the Flintstones and the Jetsons.
See, I didn't have cable when I was a kid. So we only had like CBS, ABC, and PBS, and I didn't have cartoons. So, yeah.
Well, we're talking like different ages of
childhood. I know. Oh, I know. Yeah, by a lot. Let's go ahead and, I don't know where we start. I think we start here.
Right here?
Right there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Doc, no question, just a sincere, heartfelt congratulations on your 10th anniversary. Cheers to many more.
Thank you. He sent that on Patreon, so I had to put it. And then This is our next one. And you're
Right
going to
here?
go, yeah, you're going to go down, and then there's going to be some that are going to be for after 9 o'clock. Because after 9 o'clock, we don't talk about guitar stuff. And so there's some for after 9 o'clock, too.
What? Because they're not guitar related?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. But this one is.
Okay. Damien, what are the ranges of pickup wire have you tried?
I've tried 38 gauge, which is kind of what you use in like a Charlie Christian kind of thing. I've tried 40, 42, 42 and a half, 43, 44. Those are probably all the things that I've really done a lot of experimenting with. Typically around here we use 42, 42 and a half, and 43 mostly. Yep. And we use nylon poly, single build most of the time. We do have some heavy form var around here somewhere, but I don't use it very often.
We have more?
Yep.
I was not clear on
Nope, that's it.
direction. That's it?
No, keep going.
Oh.
Yeah, there's 4 or 5.
Oh.
3 or 4.
Grant. I still don't know how to say that word. I need to practice it. How about some of your...
It's either Cunif or Cunife, depending on who you talk to.
I don't know.
Depending on
Rewinds, reworks. Please explain the differences between those and the Fender originals and reissues in terms of the materials used. Thanks and cheers.
Good question. So, basically, the Fender reissues are just humbuckers that are just kind of terrible. And they have steel slugs in them instead of having slugs and screws. And they're just threaded. The original ones from 1972, they don't have a bar magnet underneath. Long and the short of it is, the reissue ones are just regular humbuckers with screw-looking pole pieces in them. Threaded rod-looking pole pieces in them. So what we do is we take the original stuff, we cut all the wire off of it, and we replace the magnet. So it's still a regular humbucker, but it has a lot more clarity and a lot more... It sounds a lot more like a real one from the 70s, but it's still not built the same way because we don't use the same magnets and stuff because they're kind of unobtainium. That being said, we don't do those anymore because, man, the last time we did them, it turned into the big pain that I knew it was going to turn into. So I'm working on making my own. I'm just going to tell you, that's in the futures for Dylan Talks Tone. Thank you for the question, Grant.
Jeff, another terminology question concerning amps. What is SAG and happy anniversary?
Thanks, Jeff. So, SAG would be, what is the best way I can explain it? When the signal loads in an amp, when you hit the note and it loads, think like when your air conditioner turns on and it like dims the lights, because the circuit has tons of load on it and it sags. That's a kind of a bad analogy, but sort of good. In a tube, it does the same thing. When you first hit the note real hard, it basically kind of draws down the circuit. That's a bad way to explain it because there's more to it than that. But think of it like that, and that's why when people say, "Oh, this amp is spongy," they talk about spongy feeling or soft feeling. That's what it is. It's because you can't feel it. You can hear it. Feel in amps is a dumb thing, but kind of. But when you hit the note with your hand, you expect something to come out of your ear, and it's not exactly the same thing because that drawdown. And so that difference is called sag. And I guess that's why people think of feel when they think of amps. Because but it's not actually a feel, it's actually from when I hit the note to what I hear, there's a little discrepancy there.
Still going?
Yep.
Ivan, What are
Probably.
what are the different magnet types developed specifically for pickups, or was that just a chicken or the egg situation?
Were the different magnet types
Oh.
developed? That's what it is. Specifically for pickups.
Yes.
No, Alnico was around for a long time before, I want to say like 1890 something. And most of the stuff, all the stuff for guitar circuits and everything else was reapplied from something else. The fiber board was a common insulator. The magnets were were magnets in all kinds of other stuff. The wire was obviously in motors and stuff. The hookup wire being cloth was in everybody's wall before the 50s. So yeah, it was all pretty much just whatever Leo Fender at the time could get his hands on. If we're talking about that kind of stuff.
Keep going.
Yep.
Zoltan. Does the specific type of plastic used for bobbins and pickup covers matter? Just asking because white pick guards, bobbins, and covers all age and color differently. Not important, but I have OCD.
So it doesn't affect the tone at all. So this is where we start to get into myth land and the thumbnail. Because
Zoltan put us in Mythland.
well, him and somebody else earlier asked another question about wire, because
Yes.
you know a lot of times people there's a lot of myths about how pickups are made and why they're made the way they are, and so let's talk first about this, and then we'll kind of jump back to the wire and talk about that too. Before there was ABS, which is 50s. Well, ABS was invented earlier than that and formulated and thought of and designed before that. It was, I think, the 30s. But ABS wasn't in common use until the 50s. And so when they were making the first guitars, butyrate was the only plastic that they really had. And so they used it. And so then when ABS came along, people started using ABS. And people think that a pickup will sound different if you don't use butyrate bobbins, or if you use the maple spacer ABS spacer instead of a maple spacer, like that kind of stuff. And it's just a bunch of, it's all made up. What really matters is the coil dimension, the magnet strength, and to some extent, I would say I could give you the wire, obviously. The wire, so we'll get to the wire in a minute. And then the other thing that can affect it also is the hardness, the carbon content of the steel. So like 1013, 1020, 23, 1016, 1019. There's a few different grades of the slugs and the screws, and those can all affect how magnetic the pickup is, which can affect the inductance. But what the bobbin is made of, it's nothing. We'll take a super chat and then we'll jump back to this wire thing.
Okay. Super chat from Sassy Cat. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you.
What about Fender's Shawnuckers and Kingfish pickup?
Oh, Humbuckers and Kingfish. I don't know what those are.
Says Snuckers.
Oh, I know. I don't know what those are. I know that the new Humbuckers are different, but they're just pickups. They're not special. I want to get into some other pickup myths here in a minute too, which makes me think of. So thanks for the super chat, Sassy Cat, because you're made me think of something else too. So then the other big myth when we talk about wire is obviously cloth wire versus PVC wire. There's no difference, right? Electricity goes through the wire the same. The other thing is a lot of people think that you have to have this plain enamel wire instead of like the wire that I use. And there's two things about it. Plain enamel wire from the 50s is no longer available because it's toxic. So you will not see me using new old stock wire because I don't want cancer. And so, because soldering it, handling it, all that stuff, it's toxic. That's why they don't make it anymore. So the new plain enamel wire that we're using now is not the same as the old one anyway. So you can't be like, oh, it's totally legit because it's not even the same. So it doesn't even matter. So since that doesn't even matter, why can't you find a modern material that has the same things that matter? And what matters is the capacitive loss of the insulation, so that when you have two wires together, that is a known factor. And also, which is mostly controlled by the thickness of the insulation. So long and short of it is, if you can have a similar nominal thickness to plain enamel wire with something else, like polynylon, in a single build with the right brand of wire and the right stuff, you can get really close to the vintage sound. So that's why we use the new stuff, not the old stuff, and it still sounds great. Will it sound different? Yeah, probably. But it doesn't matter. It sounds great, and that's all I really care. Yeah. Cool.
Was that all your myths?
No, there's probably going to be more, but we'll take some more questions and keep going. Yeah.
All right.
I want to talk about probably want to talk about PRS TCI here in a minute, but we won't hit you with everything all at once because some people can't handle that one.
All right. Okay, that's the first question. Outlaw Guitar wants to know, are you drinking liquor tonight? So,
I actually was literally just going for the Nelson Brothers bourbon that I got in Nashville the last time I was there.
There you go. That is that question.
Okay.
Damian Green wants to know, do you have to log in or create a Patreon account to view this weekend's pickup seminar?
This weekend's pickup seminar?
What is a pickup seminar?
I don't know about that.
Are you sure it's ours?
I don't know that it's mine. What's the weekend? Well, hang on.
You should have a thing Monday.
Fourth Monday. Yeah, so Monday there is going to be a Patreon hangout. And yes, you have to have a Patreon membership or a YouTube membership to attend that, and it's the $20 one. If you have that, you will get a link to it. And we will. So for everybody else that is not yet or doesn't know about this, the fourth Monday of every month we have a live hangout on Zoom. The reason I do Zoom is because it's not like this. You can actually turn your camera on and your microphone on, and we can actually have a real conversation, as real as that gets. And it's way cooler than just a YouTube stream. As far as
talk with him.
Yeah.
He doesn't get to talk at you. Exactly.
And to be able to ask real questions and hey, I have a problem, and troubleshoot back and forth, and and share links. Sometimes people be like, hey, I need an idea for such and such a wiring diagram, and I'll help them through it and Google it around and send links back and forth. And it's when people email me all the time or try to call me on the phone all the time with questions, this is why I tell you this. We do this thing once a month because this is where it happens, and it's super fun. We went 2 hours last time. I didn't mean to, but it ended.
I think you almost always go.
Yeah, it's been getting longer because it's been more. We've just been having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to do that, you can go to patreon.com/DylanTalksTone and join, or you can hit the join button down below, and there's the level down there. You'll see it. And I'll send, what I do is I send links out on Monday morning, login information on Zoom so that you can do that. So you don't have to, all you do is you just hit the link and it pops up. So super easy. Anyway, cool. So maybe there was something about pickups. couldn't remember what week of the month it is.
Pickup seminar sounds really official though.
Yeah, it sounds like pocket protector stuff. I like calling them workshops when we do them because.
But this is a hangout. It's not a workshop.
This is a hangout.
Correct?
Yeah, this is just a hangout.
Yes. Windsurf Maui says your Les Paul has more oomph than the PRS is made with the same wood species. Is it more bass in the pickup or the placement of the pickups to the bridge? What's the cause?
There's a bunch of differences. The people that want to compare the McCarty SE to my Les Paul, it's not even the same. There's nothing the same about it. The scale length is different. The pickups are way different. The neck radius, the profile is different. The frets are different. The balance of the guitar is different. How you hold the guitar is different. Everything about it is different. They're not even comparable. In fact, I would not even compare a high-end PRS McCarty SE 59 or PRS McCarty 594, the big one, the big dollar one, to a Les Paul. I wouldn't. People do, but I wouldn't. They're not even the same. They don't even feel the same. Not even constructed the same. Nothing. Not even the same guitar. At all.
End of answer.
End of answer.
Randy Crook says, "Hey Dylan, can you explain the difference between Fender Tex-Mex pickups and Texas Specials?"
They're just wound different. I can't actually remember the difference between the two. I know that both of them are way too hot though, for my liking. And they're both a little flat on top for me. But a lot of people really, really like them. So don't take my word for whether you should like it or not, because a lot of people really like them. They're super, super popular. Both sets.
Scott Dreyfus says, "By the way, you were right about the Duncan Fat Cat. In fact, it may be the opposite in what I like about a P90. Just crazy low-end farts, but don't put them on a clean channel."
Ha! Told you.
Fat Philosopher says, "Thoughts about Glenn Fricker's pickup shootout videos?"
I've not seen them. I need to watch. I suppose I should watch that.
Somebody said, I saw they had some conversation about it. They were like, his shootout was high gain. Curtis Chavez says his shootout was made or with high gain. I've changed pickups before and they made a big difference when you play cleaner guitar styles. Then Fat Philosopher's response is his original question. Yeah, I figured all that gain he used distorted the results. Pardon the pun.
That's pretty funny. You know, so here's the thing about that. And nothing against Glenn Fricker. I think he's a pretty effective. He's pretty effective about that stuff. But you can. It's not a one size fits all thing. There are certain amps that will make guitars all sound the same. There are certain pickups that make all amps and guitars sound the same. EMGs.
Is the question coming up?
Yeah. What? There's a question coming up about that?
Don't choke on your spit. I'll read it when we get there, but...
Oh, okay. And so it depends on the situation. That's why I'm really, really, really careful to not edit anything. So, for example, somebody said, all the other PRS SE McCarty videos, the coil splitting sounded better than your video. You made it sound really bad. And the thing is, I didn't make it sound any which way. I just played it and pulled the knob up and down. I do know, because I can tell by the amount of compression that they use in post-production, that some of these other people are using, like, normalizing. Yeah. Which makes the video sound great. And the tone sounds amazing. But it's not accurate to what the pickup's actually doing. And so when we do videos, just so you guys know how we do this, I have this amp and this amp. The Black Star St. James and the Princeton Tone Master. And depending on how hot the pickups are and what we're trying to do and how clean we want to get, I actually use the higher wattage amp, the Black Star, for really clean stuff because it's easier to get really clean. And then this guy, depending on the sound we want, the guitar and what most people, I think most people are going to use the guitars, it depends on which amp I choose. I have a USB, an XLR. It's the same cable. I actually unplug this amp and plug it into here. It goes straight into a Focusrite 18i8. And however the amps are set, I actually hardly ever change the amp settings. So the EQ settings are fairly flat. Like the Fenders, everything's on 5. You know what I mean? Except for the reverb. Everything's fairly flat. And I just play it straight into the computer. I don't even touch anything. I hit export. It makes a WAV file or MP4 or whatever, MP3 or whatever. Pops it out on the desktop. I plop it on the video and I output the video. We don't touch the audio at all, ever. And I do that on purpose because I know people will challenge me on it because of things like this. And because of things how Glenn Fricker does his videos. I don't know how he does them. But I know that there's a lot of things you can do to get the result you want. So, and I'm not saying he's doing that. I'm saying that could just be down to the pickups that he's using and the amp and stuff. So I wouldn't want to accuse him of being dishonest because he might just, that just might be how he plays and how he sounds, you know. So there's nothing wrong with that at all whatsoever. I just know for me, we go out of our way to make sure we don't touch anything so that when somebody challenges me on this, I can give you the straight answer on it. Anyway, keep going.
Alrighty. Somebody said I got my hair done. Definitely not.
You mean like you took a shower?
It's the opposite of no. Like I must have had my hair done. I'm like no. It's definitely the opposite of done. Like this is nothing. Wet.
It's just wet out of the shower. You even said that. I need to take a shower, but I'm probably not even going to dry my hair.
Jim Woodard says, I got to give other Patreons less money so I can up yours to the $20 level. I'm a cheapo at the $10 level.
Dude,
LOL.
I would love it if you were there because I think you would have a lot to contribute. Having spent 3 hours on your podcast and hanging out with you, I think you would have a lot to contribute. That would be really awesome. Thank you for even thinking of it.
Yeah. Paul Need says, doesn't overall surface area of the wire have an effect?
Yeah, so overall surface area of the wire. Okay, so there's 2 ways to get that. One is the actual diameter of the wire, but that changes everything because that changes the resistance per foot, that changes the amount of capacitance that can happen between 2 wires, etc. The other thing that can happen is you can have the same gauge of wire but more insulation, and it will hold the wires further apart in the coil, changing the inductance, changing the capacitance, all that stuff. So, and then surface area of the wire, if the coil is really long, but has the same amount of winds on it, or really short and fat, you could have let's say this. You could have the same amount of feet of wire on 2 different bobbins, but if it was short and fat or tall and skinny, it would sound differently because of where in the coil the inductance happened. So in that respect, yes, you're right.
Doc Stiltonen, what difference would having 2 screw coils rather than screw slug make in a humbucker, if any?
You should try it. It makes them a little more edgy, in my opinion. We used to do, and maybe I'll bring it back out. We used to do a humbucker that was 12 screws. And,
Sounds like we're bringing a lot of OG stuff back. Sneak. That's all you
yeah, because I don't want to talk about the other thing.
I know.
I did make the move today.
Cool.
So
I'm excited.
Yeah, so yeah. New stuff coming.
New old?
Yeah. You know what it is?
New old.
I've been watching all this SHOT Show
Vintage.
stuff.
New vintage.
It's new vintage. I've been watching all this SHOT Show stuff, the new knives coming out for 2023, and I'm like, I have a bunch of stuff I'm kind of sitting on that people would really like, idea-wise, that I need to just get out there. And I think we're going to do it a little different with, like, press releases and stuff. So we might have some things coming up. Yeah.
Awesome. He says he plans on trying it.
Yeah, it's really neat. I think you should.
Paul Need said, you ever smelled an old Bakelite speaker voice coil burn out? Wow.
Yeah, it smells like burning hair almost.
Joshua
Because Bakelite is organic material, more or less.
Joshua Michael says, "Is it a problem when you're buying 4 guitars at a time?" Who says that's a problem?
Not really a problem, is it? It's like a great day.
Sounds fun. SBen423 says, "Dylan, are you going to put your pickups in the SE594?"
I don't know. The official stance on that is, I don't know because I don't know if I own that guitar or not yet.
So I'm taking it apart.
Yeah, I'm new to the PRS folks. It's a new relationship for me, and so I don't know how it all works. Like what
Probably
I have
should
to
find out.
Yeah, what I have to give back and what I can keep and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not really sure on that one yet. I'll find out soon.
Curtis Chavez. So there was some conversation about this, but he did put questions in front, so I'll ask it here. What's anyone's thoughts on EMGs? To be honest, I've never played a guitar that was equipped with them.
I'm about to do a video on that. I have a set of EMGs in a guitar, well, that I can put in a guitar. In my Les Paul, just kidding. Which I think would be really fun. EMGs are cool. Okay, let me say this. Guitar players make fun of EMGs because they say that they make every guitar sound exactly the same. That's not really true. And for all the folks that say that they don't like EMGs, you're full of crap. Because I know for sure that there are amazing rock and roll guitar songs that were made with EMGs that you like.
Maybe they don't know.
Maybe they don't know. My favorite EMG song of all time.
Have to wait. Scott Dreyfus sent a super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Scott. He says, "I've got Slash AP2 Pros in my LP. I just snagged a custom. What Dylan pickup combo will rip with orange amps?"
When you say custom, do you mean does it have regular humbuckers in it, or are we talking about like a 72 custom with minis in it? So let me know. If you have regular humbuckers, just keep an eye out for that if you
I'll
would.
be looking, yeah.
And regular humbuckers, and you like that, and you really want it to rip, I would put Super 8s in it. The mini humbucker thing, you'll have to wait. My favorite EMG song of all time, Prong. Snap your fingers, snap your neck.
If you like Metallica, you like EMGs.
Yep,
He says
exactly.
they're full-size humbuckers.
Super 8s. Get a set of Super 8s.
Cool. Paul Need says, "Dylan, you are so right about YouTube compression. It's why I would never buy any piece of music making gear or instrument because of a YouTube video."
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. For me personally, I understand why you say that. I think the really good guys really do try to give you an as accurate as thing as possible. But you do kind of have to weed through it, don't you? I get why you would say that.
All right. SBen423 says, "Why is the wait so long for the new PRS guitars?"
I don't know the answer to that.
Had you heard there was a wait?
Yeah, like
Oh.
I think Jim could speak to it. I think he told me when he ordered his DGT, which I don't have. I think I'm getting one, but I don't have it yet. He told me that.
What are you waiting on?
I'm waiting on
I'm
waiting on
kidding.
PRS to send it to me.
Right. Well, they're waiting on PRS too.
They're waiting on PRS to put them into Sweetwater and stuff. I think it's going to be like April. I think people... So here's the thing that you don't think about. I don't think people realize the scale globally of how many of these guitars they are selling. You might know 3 guys in a Facebook group that are ordering them, but these are thousands, tens of thousands of these guitars that are pre-sold. And so, you know, if they're making, they might be making 10,000 of them a month, and it might take 3 or 4 or 5 months to catch up because PRS sells a lot of SEs. I think they sell about 250 or 300 American guitars a month, but they sell exponentially more SEs, like in the thousands. So it's hard to think of that scale when we're like sitting there waiting for our one guitar, you know. It took me almost a year to get the blue one, the Fiore.
Dan of New Jersey says, is it possible to degauss a pickup? For example, from Alnico 5 to an Alnico 2. Just wondering if this would be a way to tame a hot pickup.
That's really... So this is interesting. Compound question you asked, even though you didn't know it. It's very difficult to do. I should do a video on magnetizing magnets, because if you're trying to hit, like, Alnico 2 would probably be like, I don't know, 300 gauss, something like that, or 300 or 400 gauss, something like that, and a Alnico 5 is somewhere in the 6 or 7 range if we're talking about a humbucker magnet. If you try to stop, like if you got an Alnico 5 pickup in your hand and you're like magnetizing it and you try to stop so that it only has 500 or 400, it's very difficult to do that. It happens faster than you think. You can do it, but it's really hard. And so to degauss it, to do it accurately, it would be very, very difficult to do without ruining it and going too far and then messing with it. It would be really hard. Now, that doesn't just tame a hot pickup. That changes the frequency response of the pickup. It doesn't just change how hot it is. Because how hot a pickup is a combination of the magnet and the coil. And if you're not changing the coil, so literally you're going to just change how it sounds more than you're going to make it less hot. Which means you're going to ruin it.
It's a lot of air quotes. Aubriana says you shouldn't do that because it means just kidding.
Oh. Is that what she says?
Yes. She's like, Mom, don't say that.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Sorry. I feel like I didn't close. Oh, there it is. Didn't close a question. Vox Guitars Rock. Is it true that more speakers get destroyed from underpowered amps than overpowered amps?
I don't know the answer to that. I know that there's a lot of speaker myths. I don't necessarily think it has as much to do with that as it does. I'm just going to say I don't know.
That's okay.
I know a lot more on the hi-fi side, but it doesn't really scale the same, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to say I don't know. I would rather
Bacon Tracks Backing Tracks for Guitar wants to know, have you ever tried to make a guitar pedal?
Well, the answer is yes. I have 2 prototypes of a wah that nobody's ever made. I'm the only one to ever... Well, I'm not the only one. I'm sure somebody else has tried it. And there's a reason why there isn't one on the market, because it's a pain in the butt. Stay tuned on that pedal thing.
More to come.
More to come on that pedal thing.
He's reminding himself he has more ideas than
Not
he
more
even
ideas.
remembers.
It wasn't my idea. It was somebody else's idea.
It is something you wanted to do before that. Yeah, you can't say that.
Yeah, but I
And
can't
you
talk
also
about it.
ran with the idea, so.
I will tell you, I cannot talk about said idea until February 13th. I do know that is the date.
Cool. That's not that
February
long.
13th is the
Less
date.
than a month to go.
I cannot talk about it before that.
All right. I don't know if that's a real question. Fat Philosopher wants to know, what Dylan pickup provides me most porkiness? LOL.
Oh, because they were talking about the stuff from the video before, from Texas Toast Guitars.
Porkiness?
Quirkiness?
What does that
Probably.
mean?
Or they're making up words.
Oh.
Because they were making up tone words. You know, like flavors and smells and, you know, all this stuff. They were doing that on the Texas Toast live stream, so. Porkiness. Probably.
I mean, I feel like that could be like, what do you think of when you hear that word, since it's not really a word? Like, if you think of red, what do you think? Like, how do you answer that?
I don't know.
Okay, I would just.
I don't think like that though. See, this is the
But you
problem.
were pondering just now.
I know.
You were
I was trying to come up.
quirkiness.
I was trying to come up with an answer because I don't think like this. You know, this whole guitar myth, religion thing is so hard for me to identify with. I'm having a really hard. Literally working in my own personality and mind to not be so hard on the people that prioritize mojo over science. Because it's not fair of me to do that. Because sometimes mojo inspires them and they don't care about the science. Okay. I'm just such an analytical person that I'm like, that's not even real. This is actually how you make it work. And I think that's why most people follow the channel, but I also think that's why a lot of people get angry in the comments, because I'm pretty like, you know, that's fairy dust, and it's not real. So it's really hard for me to think in those terms.
You never watched Peter Pan? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm a fan of Tinkerbell.
Yeah,
what do you
I
mean
watched
there's
Peter
no
Pan.
fairy dust?
Exactly.
What?
I just figure let PRS handle all that. We don't need to.
Okay, I knew I missed a question, so I was trying to find it. Okay. Let's pop back into... Are you supposed to be, like, popping in some myths?
I mean, we could talk about a big one right now if we have a minute.
I mean,
Because
you make the time.
I got really confronted with this in a comment on YouTube this week about TCI by Paul Reed Smith. Because I made that video and I was like, these are just pickups. There's nothing special about them. And he's like, you didn't even measure them. You don't even know. I'm like, that's not the point. His thing, TCI, he's a genius. He's a genius. Because what he did was he took a process that every good pickup builder, or every pickup builder, honestly, every pickup builder who's really trying to figure out something, does. TCI stands for tuned capacitance and inductance. And what he does is he has a process that he makes a pickup and he measures the pickup and then he listens to the pickup and he tweaks the pickup and he gets the pickup how he wants it to sound. Does that sound familiar? Everybody does that. I wind a pickup and then he says, we do this in such a way so that we can get it right the first time. I've watched all of his videos on this. We do this in such a way that we can get it right the first time. Well, guess what? I do too. It's called, I have 2 notebooks over there full of everything I've ever done just about. And if you tell me this is what I want, I can be like, okay, well, I tried this, this, and this, and this, and this. And this is where this one falls into place. And this is where this falls into place. And okay, this is what I'm going to make you. And guess what? We've made 10,000 pickups. And not one person has ever sent one back to me and said, I didn't get what I wanted after you told me I got what I want. I was going to get what I wanted. I'm not saying I'm as good as Paul Reed Smith. He has a whole bunch more stuff available to him, resources and equipment and all kinds of things. But the bottom line is, all he's doing is he's putting a name, like Kleenex, on everything, something that every good pickup builder does. That's all it is. He's putting a marketing name on Kleenex, on
facial
tissue. Yeah. We all have facial. I have facial tissue. Everybody has. Every pickup builder has the facial tissue of development of a pickup. He just called it Kleenex first.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. That's the only thing. And people are like challenging me like, well, you didn't even measure it, so how do you know it's not special? Because I can look at a pickup and tell you how it was made, what was in there, It's wire and a magnet. The only difference is he did some homework and maybe he got it right on the first or second try. Well, guess what? I do homework and get it right on the first or second try too.
I'm just not a marketing genius.
I'm
Is
just
that
not
what you're
as
saying?
I'm right. And I don't have and mind you, this is somebody who's starting to send me free guitars, and I'm not afraid to say this. He is very good at taking these normal ideas and putting names on them that people will accept as a religion. I 100% back it because that's what makes you a successful business in 2023. I just see through it also. I can see both sides of it. I can see it's nothing special, but I'm not mad at him doing it, and I'm really glad that he's doing it. As long as you know what's really going on and you're okay with it, then we're okay. I just don't want people to feel like they've been snowed. You know what I mean? If you accept it and be like, this is cool, and I feel like his TCI pickups are better than his other pickups, then feel that and buy those guitars. I have nothing against it.
Doc Stilton sent in a super chat. Thank you for
Thank
the
you.
super chat, Doc. He says, new shirt, Dylan Pickups, Scientific Fairy Dust.
For real. We should make some kind of like Tinkerbell on a pickup. Yeah, the problem is then Disney would sue me.
Yeah, don't make Tinkerbell. Make a fairy.
Make a fairy.
But not Tinkerbell.
Yeah.
Anyway, she doesn't say fairy dust. She says pixie dust.
She does.
So, if you
Yeah,
make a
she does.
fairy and fairy dust, then you're not infringing on anything.
That's true. Thank you for the super chat and thank you for the idea.
Fairy dust. Let's see. I don't know.
Trying to find us some more questions.
I mean, I have some. I'm popping
Okay, good.
back over there. I just want to make sure I don't.
We have about 15 minutes before we go 100% off topic, so we're trying to fit as many in as possible.
100%. Pooh Ninja says unicorn horn bobbins.
Unicorn horn bobbins.
Okay. Let's run through some of these.
Let's do it.
This isn't a question, but Doc said thumbs up on the Super 8s. Use them live for the first time Tuesday. They cut through like a 3-body katana. Absolutely killer. Slayed the other guitarist ESP with EMGs.
Nice. That's what I was hoping. I was hoping it would be a passive. It would fit in a band if somebody else had active pickups, and you wouldn't get lost, and you would be able to do your own thing and not get lost. That was the goal of that pickup.
Martian Murray says, how about a Tinker Rail?
That's
All right.
fine.
We'll handle some of these after 9.
Okay.
Jimmy Devine, what are your opinions on the Seymour Duncan P rails?
We talked about those earlier. I don't like them. I don't like them at all. I think they're a compromised pickup that do everything mediocre and nothing good.
Alrighty. Fat Philosopher wants to know thoughts about Glenn Fricker's... Oh, I already asked that. My bad.
Yep.
That's a question for later. Beavis Christ wants to know, how does inductance influence a pickup's tone?
It's everything. Changes.
Everything.
Inductance is probably the easiest way to say it is that it's the way it is the overall efficiency or effectiveness of a coil of wire to make electricity. Because you're really making you're making electricity. But as you make electricity, AC voltage, you have various frequencies that coil of wire is better at making electricity at those frequencies. And so the amount of inductance, capacitance, and resistance of the wire put together gives you a frequency response range that's different depending on when either of those three measurements change: inductance, resistance, or capacitance. And inductance is a big piece of that three legs of how that works. It's hard to explain that stuff because, to tell you the honest truth, in real practice, in real life, I just try stuff. And when it's good, and when it ain't, it ain't. And at this point, after making 10,000 of these things, I can go, I want to hit this number, and hit this number, and it's probably going to get me about here. Yep, it did. Or, okay, let me tweak this one. Well, how do I do that? Make the coil a little more baggy, change the diameter of the wire, use a stronger, weaker magnet, but it still goes down to experimenting some. And even Paul Reed Smith experiments some. He just has a bigger notebook of references to go to be able to do that.
Top Load Telly says improper impedance blows up more amps.
Yes. I was going to get into that, but yes.
Paul Need says, I'll go on, Dylan. Tell us whose guitars your pickups are going in. Not even on the radar.
Wait, what?
I think when you keep saying you have secrets, like, or news to come, thought your
Oh,
pickups were
no,
going in
that's
somebody's
not it.
guitars.
I do have 10 P90s over here and a whole bunch of Strat pickups going to Texas Toast tomorrow.
Top Load Telly also said, didn't Paul say they scope all of their pickups so they sound the same? That's funny.
I mean, yeah, you can put it on a measuring equipment and make sure they're the same, but we do that too.
That is the same question I asked earlier. Curtis Chavez, Dylan, would you consider making an active line of pickups?
No. Not right now. In 5 years, when nobody's buying this stuff anymore, maybe.
Maybe. Sir Sneaker Pimp, how would you value a relic guitar versus an actual old 59, 61, etc.? By the way, I hate relicing. Fake old is really silly to me.
Well, it sounds like you already feel the way you're going to feel about it. I'm not a person that's going to like try to make you feel different about something.
Feel what you feel.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, a 61 Strat is going to run you 25 grand. If you want that feel of a worn out guitar, then you can get one from the custom shop for $6. And it will feel very similar, and you will not have to do two things: wait 70 years for it, and two, pay 25 grand for it. So I personally think that relic guitars definitely have a place because I like guitars that feel worn in. I'm at the point in my life where I can't wait around 70 years for a guitar to get old. And I personally would rather buy other things than $25,000 guitars. So I'm going to buy a custom shop relic guitar before I buy a 70-year-old guitar that's 25 grand or wait 70 years to wear it out. That's just my...
You probably don't have 70 years.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't have time to wear out a guitar, but I like the feeling of it. So I'm going to buy it.
Super chat from Sassy Cat. Thank you for the super chat. When I first heard PRS's 5815 LT pickups, I was floored by how good they sounded. YouTube compression be danged. When he introduced his TCI versions, I thought they sounded like crap. Pre-TCIs are better.
Yeah, I mean, I have some 5815s LTs, right? And I don't know. Again, this goes down to what you like. And I have a thing that I like when I hear pickups. And I think everybody...
I didn't get that.
I think everybody has that thing. I don't think they're necessarily worse or stuff. I mean, there are some bad pickups out there. But You also got to look at price points and the goal of the
Yeah.
manufacturer, and yeah.
SBen423 says, what is your DAF pickup comparable to?
Vintage PAF Gibson. 7.6K, 42 gauge wire, Alnico 5. Sandcast magnet, but it's made with modern materials, but it sounds old.
That was very descriptive.
That's it. In 2016, it was the top
Yes.
of all of the DAF or all the PAF copy pickups in Premier Guitar Magazine.
We have one somewhere.
We have one somewhere with it in there.
Josh M says, if you buy a beat up guitar, it wasn't you that did it anyway, so what's the difference?
Yeah, the relicing thing is pretty polarizing. I kind of don't care.
Jimmy Devine, can plug-in pickups compare to hardwired pickups?
It doesn't change anything. No, it doesn't change anything. Now, are there any good plug-in pickups? That's a different story. Because don't hit me with GFS. But
Don't come at me, bro.
don't come at me with no GFS garbage.
4 minutes. Get them in fast.
Yeah, get them in faster.
All
Use the
caught
super
up.
chat.
Did you have any other myths you need to talk about first?
I don't
Was
think
that the
so.
last
Those
one?
are the big ones that have been hitting me a lot lately. I wanted to bring them up because they've been coming up in comments a lot. People have been asking or challenging me on stuff. You know, just being very like the thing about the TCI thing was like, I can't explain this in a comment. So next time I have a chance in a live stream, I'm gonna really flesh it out, like how I feel about that. I don't dislike it. I think it's cool, as long as you know
Yeah.
that that's what it is, and everybody does it. You know, whatever we got this car. You know, in this car, you get in there and traction control is called something. In a different brand, traction control is called something else. You know, or whatever. Doesn't matter. They put their name on it somehow. Hybrid technology is named something, even though it's the same kind of hybrid technology from one car to the next. Whatever. You know, variable valve timing is VTEC in a Honda. It's variable valve timing. And it's Vanos in a BMW. Like, you know, they all put their names on whatever they're doing. And everybody's doing the same thing, but they're trying to make themselves sound different. It just so happens that PRS is the only person thus far to put VTEC on how they develop pickups. And I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I should come up with my own.
Yes.
I should come up with my own. I'm going to do that.
Fat Philosopher says, PRS, Framus, Dean, Heritage, now Jericho. Who do you think Gibson will snipe next?
They're not sniping anybody. I think they're going to go after anybody who challenges designs, trademarks that they own. I would do exactly the same thing. The lesson in this is don't steal other people's stuff. If you don't steal other people's stuff, Gibson won't sue you. The end.
Thank you for asking the question again, Fat Philosopher, because he said earlier, like, I asked a question, and then he restated it. It is really hard
Thank you.
when you're like, I asked a question, and you missed it, and
Yeah.
scrolling back through, it's a hot mess.
Sometimes the feed's going so fast that it's really hard to catch them. That's why.
Or if I literally missed one earlier, like, I can't scroll all the way back and find it most of the time.
Because it scrambles around
Yeah.
and stuff, too. It's
I
weird.
mean, it doesn't scramble, but I don't know when you sent it, so...
5 minutes ago or 7 minutes ago
Right.
makes a big difference
Right.
in the feed, yeah.
Curtis Chavez says, thoughts on the large single coils in the G&L ASAT specials?
Those are really cool. We have a video on those about 2 years ago. In 2020, actually. We have a video on those. And I just know because we were in Denver, or we were in Salt Lake City when I did it. We had just left Denver. They're kind of like a P90, but not. They're a little different. So we do have a video about them. They're cool though. They sound great. I have a set of them around here somewhere.
Fat Philosopher said he wasn't attacking Gibson. He's just wondering who the next victim is. LOL. Yeah, I mean, if somebody comes to mind, like, keep them in your mind. Like,
Yeah,
maybe,
I'm curious.
Maybe you already know.
Yeah. Maybe you've already seen it. I don't know.
You're already thinking of somebody
Yeah.
like, oh, I wonder about so-and-so.
It'd be an American company if it's anybody, probably. Or a European company, depending on where they live in Europe and what design it is. It just depends on where the laws apply. You know, they can't go after Harley Benton or anything, I don't think, because of China, the way that works. So I don't really know. Yep.
I don't know. I feel like this got cut off or didn't finish. Jeremy Carringer says, how about stealing circuit designs? Yeah, nothing.
I don't know about that. I've heard people say that you can draw it and copyright the circuit design, but I don't know. The person that would know about that is Josh Scott from JHS, and he's done a bunch of content on that, and I don't know how that works. I know about trademarks and patents because guitar world is not the first time I've ever had to deal with it. I had to deal with it in the power sports industry too, so I don't know.
901.
Oh, it's off topic time. So here's how this works. At 9 o'clock, we switch over to purely off topic stuff. And the only way you can ask a guitar question after 9 o'clock is if you use a super chat. We will answer guitar questions, but they have to be a super chat after 9 o'clock. Otherwise, we're just going to hang out and just be friends, because that's what we do after 9 o'clock. I mean, I was your friend before, too. But.
So did you say you had...
Yeah, there was just a bunch of people that...
All of these?
Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
So start here?
Or
did you miss something? I hope not.
Start with... well, let's just try them. Is it that one?
That's the next... I've stopped with that one, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Right. So these are...
Patreon questions...
Yes.
That were off topic. So I saved them for now.
They might have wanted him in the first one, though.
Yeah,
Who knows?
but it was starting to get a little weird because most of these are...
So now we're just going to bring it back
let's
around
just
to
go.
us.
Yeah, let's bring it back around to our anniversary. Anyway.
Robert, a great milestone. You both deserve a lot of credit and respect. Thank you both for your contributions to the community. Here's to the positive outlooks. Thanks again.
Thanks, man.
That's really nice.
We try to keep it positive.
Zoltan, question for the no guitar portion. I didn't know they were actually requesting to be in this section.
Yeah.
So tell us more about that Audi. I'll soon have to change cars, and the option I'm given are Mercedes, BMW, or Audi. Which one do I want?
That's tough. So it depends what you... So, okay. For those of you that have followed the channel for a long time, and I don't talk about it a whole lot, but you may or may not know. The people that really know me more know that I am a European car junkie beyond. And I've had almost everything. I've had just about every European brand there is. But I will default to Volkswagen. I love Volkswagen. And I've had Volkswagens and Audis and an old Porsche one time. And I really wanted to get a 911. I wanted to get something fast. But we decided that we wanted an SUV. And I told everybody last week or the week before that we'd almost bought a Lexus GX460. Well, and I was like, I'm over it because the interest rates are so high. So my Audi guy, my buddy, I have a good friend here in town who manages, he's the sales manager at the Audi dealership. And he calls me, texts me, and he's like, hey, I have an Audi SQ5 over here. And I can do, he told me the interest rate, and it was very competitive and what I wanted to do on it and the terms and all that. And he was going to give me a smoking deal. He gave me the most amazing trade deal ever on a car, to trade my Honda. So we ended up with a 2022 Audi SQ5. We wanted an SUV, If you follow me on Facebook, you'll see I post a couple pictures. We have a Dometic refrigerator that goes in the back, so we wanted an SUV. We wanted a sunroof again. Our Honda didn't have heated seats, and I wanted probably 150 or 200 more horsepower. We got all of that. So the Audi SQ5 is bonkers. It's so fun. It's real good. It's not 911 fast, but it's good. And it's all-wheel drive, and then it's an SUV, and it sounds great. It's got a valved exhaust. It's got all the stuff. Because it's their, Audi's S line is like an M car or an AMG for Mercedes or BMW. So it's Audi's performance. It's not an RS, but it's close. It's below that. But they don't make an RS5. They don't make an RSQ5. They only make the SQ5. So that's what we wanted. I'd thought about a BMW, but the M cars, I wanted something fast. And an X3 or an X5 would be cool, but they're not fast enough. So to go to an M, it's a lot more money. Like a lot more. And I'm a Volkswagen guy, so getting an Audi made way more sense for me. Mercedes was never really on my radar. Even the AMG stuff is just a little too old man for me. I really like Volkswagen AG, and so we bought a Volkswagen. So we went with the Audi SQ5, and it is phenomenally good. It's such a great car. It's so fun. I just got the windows tinted today. It's awesome. So, yeah.
And it was a beautiful day, and we couldn't roll down the windows.
We couldn't roll down the windows. It was like the first nice day after
held hostage in the car.
Till Saturday morning, I can't roll the windows down. But anyway,
Finch
there you go.
Guitar says BMW equals break my wallet. I've never heard that. That's funny.
Yeah.
All right, Dave. Congratulations on 10 years. Here's to many more.
That's chance off.
Thank you. Why don't we call him Dangerous?
Dangerous Dave.
Vincent, in case I'm not able to watch real time tomorrow, happy anniversary.
He must have left that yesterday. Yeah, he's in Hong Kong, so he's probably got to work. I haven't seen him on tonight, so usually he's around.
I don't know if I saw him. Jim, happy anniversary, Dylan and Leslie.
That's Jim Woodard.
Thank you. He's told us many times. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Grant, Dylan and Leslie, love the show. Y'all are so sweet together. 2 questions. How long have y'all been together? My wife and I have been together 23 years. That is phenomenal.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, 10 years. We pretty much got married right away. Yep. That's pretty much it. Mm-hmm. It happened pretty fast.
Yeah, 10 years.
10 years.
All right.
I need some water. I'm stealing
Rude.
stealing some of your water.
Rude. Let's see. We have some really good questions tonight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything really quick before I flip over.
We have some good after 9 o'clock questions as well.
For sure.
Oh, right on. Okay.
Jimmy Devine says, when is John Wick 4 coming out?
I don't know. That would be amazing, though. I need to watch 3.
Oh. All right. Fat Philosopher says, poodles. Talk about poodles. But he left to go to work, and I don't know anything about poodles.
I don't really like them, I don't think.
No?
Mm-mm.
I don't have an opinion.
They've never been on my radar.
I don't have an opinion.
I'm a Mastiff breed guy. So Rottweilers, English Mastiffs, I've had both of those. Yeah, if I'm going to have a dog, it's going to be a Mastiff breed.
I mean, in true Southern fashion, my favorites are like...
Hunting dogs.
No.
No? Pit bulls?
Pit bulls.
Yeah, pit bulls.
Hunting dogs.
Well, you said you always wanted a Weimaraner, which is a bird dog, basically.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want it for that. But they are beautiful.
They are beautiful, yeah.
And what did I learn? There's that color...
That blue
golden
color.
retriever or something. Mm-hmm. What is it that Becca had? Is it a golden retriever? What was it?
I don't know.
It wasn't a Weimaraner though, but it was the same color. It was really pretty.
Oh, really? I don't remember
I
that.
showed you her dog.
I guess, yeah, and I don't remember what it was, though.
I showed you her dog.
I don't remember what it was.
I don't want a dog, by the way.
No. We're too irresponsible to have a dog.
Yeah, that's what we tell everybody.
We just want to up and go sometimes.
I'm already over my plants, so.
And you got like the easiest plants ever, too.
And I'm so tired of them. Like, I don't know why. I have zero plant patience.
I get it.
I don't know how I kept kids alive. All right, so we're not going to talk about poodles. Jim Woodard says, I drive an Audi A3 diesel.
Nice.
It's Victoria G says, my mom was a die-hard Honda gal, but she got a good deal on a Passat and she's smitten. She has heated seats for the first time and she's obsessed. I totally get that.
Yep. Because the Honda was the first time we haven't had heated seats in a long time. And usually I have a convertible at some point at all times, or something with a sunroof at least, and we didn't have either of those things.
None of the things.
And now we have all of the things. It's pretty sweet.
Rusty asked 2 times. I don't know where the other one is because I have a bunch. Okay. He says, so what was your anniversary lunch? And then he said, what did you guys have for lunch?
We went to an Indian place locally here, and I had matar mushrooms and this really good salad and some garlic roti, and yeah, it was really good. And what did you have? You had
Gobi masala.
gobi masala. That's right.
Yep. It
We
was
like Indian food.
delicious.
It was really good. This place is really good too.
Yes. All right. IBJI wants to know, off topic, have you ever been recognized in public?
Oh, yeah. Man, the other night, I didn't tell you this. So me and our daughter went out. I met her at a place, and we were watching some live music. And she went to the bar to order a drink and left me by myself. And some guy comes up to me. Hopefully he's not watching right now because I do not remember you. Comes up to me and he's like, hey, how's it going? You know, yeah, I've been playing some gigs. How you doing? Everything's cool? Yeah. How's pickups going? Like, blah, blah, asking me out. And I'm like, I do not know who this is.
Why didn't you ask?
Because I felt weird. It just felt weird. And then Paul came up to me and started talking to me. The Yodely guy. I didn't even recognize him. He looked different.
Does he?
And he used to be Brianna's boss.
Really?
At
Oh, yeah.
the place. Yeah.
Huh.
Had no idea. Anyway.
So she talked to him too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we did know that.
Mm-hmm.
Because we learned it on one of those at the end of the year jam sessions.
Yeah.
Because I think he was there.
So the other couple times that, I mean, it happens a lot, actually.
In the middle of the country.
Yeah, we were at Yellowstone. It was pouring.
That was a good one.
It was pouring rain. I'm in my Jeep. I'm driving across the parking lot. And some guy comes running over, like, across the parking lot in the rain. I'm in my Jeep driving. And he recognized me. And he's like, I watch all your videos. I'm from France, just over here to see Yellowstone. And that was a pretty cool one. I've had it happen in Guitar Center lots of times. Like various, not around here. Nobody in this. It's really funny. This is really funny. I go into our local Guitar Center. Nobody knows who I am. Not even the people that work there. Like nobody knows. And it's kind of fun because
You can just
But I'll go into
radar.
some random Guitar Center in Illinois and somebody will recognize me. One time it turned into like a line of people wanting to take selfies, which just makes me feel so uncomfortable because but even though it makes me feel uncomfortable, if you ever see me out anywhere, please come up and say hello because I do want to meet as many people as possible, but it just still kind of feels weird.
Randy Crook said, what live music did you see?
One of my buddies that I'm really good friends with has a band, and he just did a bunch of cover stuff. He has another band where he does a lot of originals, but this one was a bunch of cover stuff, just bar band stuff. But it was really fun.
Yeah,
And,
I missed it because
man,
it was
great.
He sent me some video clips, and it looked like he was having the most fun I've ever seen him have.
Well, so, and also, you know, you go out in your local area, right? And you see a few bands, and then there's like the bands that's like, it's the same 5 people, but maybe a different keyboard player, and they call themselves something different, but they always play the same music. So you kind of get tired of like hearing the same music. Their sound check song was the only song I've ever heard Will play in any of his bands. Everything else, the entire rest of the night, was stuff I've never heard him play before. So it was really fun to hear him do all new material for him, and to hear him play with Ronnie, because Ronnie is such a great guitar player. And no, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it a lot. He wanted to play my Les Paul, and he wanted to play the SE 594. So I brought those 2 guitars and let him play them.
So yes, he's been recognized in public, random restaurants, on vacation.
Yeah,
It's happened.
it's happened a lot.
And so even related to this, but not, when I would go to events in a previous thing I was doing, people would recognize you, not me.
Oh yeah, I would go
Remember that?
on business trips with you.
Yes.
And people, even the business trip, the last business trip for your company that you work for now,
Yes.
somebody that you work with recognized me.
Yes.
It was weird.
Yes. Apparently you're just recognizable. Raphael Beristain says, are you worried about Mercedes and or Ferrari catching up to Red Bull?
That's a good question. You know, you always worry about Mercedes, because I think Mercedes is, you know, they've got the most budget and the most experience. Ferrari, I'm not so worried about, because Ferrari's Ferrari. If they could manage their way out of a wet paper bag, they'd probably be okay. And we'll have to see now that Matteo Spinato is gone. And there's a new team principal. That's going to be the difference. They were their own undoing last year. So we'll have to see. I don't know if I don't think the car is principally as good as the Red Bull car. But we'll have to see. I'm excited to find out.
So Legba says, Dylan, that was me at the bar. You might know me as MGK. I can't believe you didn't recognize me, LOL.
I still don't know.
I don't know. They could be messing with you. I don't even know.
I still don't know.
I don't know. MGK.
Machine Gun Kelly? No, probably not.
Anyway.
I know who he is, but I can't. I mean, I've seen his face before, but I cannot place him. And here's the thing, too. I haven't been out in 2 years, probably. And people look different. I mean, let's just be real.
No subscribers, no videos. That's not helpful.
The last 2 years has been, let's just call it formative for a lot of people. You know, the last 2 or 3 years. And so if I don't recognize you, it might be because you look different too. And I probably do too, you know. And the only reason is I'm on the internet every week, so you don't lose track of what I look like. But
And you had a hat on, probably.
and I probably had a hat on. Yeah.
All right.
You know.
Vox Guitars Rock. What tone wood do you prefer for the handles on your knives?
I prefer. So this is titanium, bead blast titanium, and micarta. But I'm really jonesing on because this is a Chris Reeve. This is the knife I carry 99% of the time. I have a G10 blacked out Spyderco PM2 that I carry. That I really like those handles. And then the other 2 knives that I really enjoy carrying a lot is I have 2 Protex that are ivory micarta and aluminum. They're aluminum with ivory micarta inlays, and those are the other 2. So probably micarta. It's titanium, aluminum, micarta. Yeah.
Eric Johnson, which engine is in the SQ5?
It is the turbocharged 6. with a ZF 8-speed transmission.
Solano Speed Shop says tattoos. We never talk about tattoos and their stories anymore. Why did you get your different artworks? Do they even know what all your art
Yeah, I have a
are?
bunch. I have a bunch.
How many do you have?
Like 8 or something. The 2 that you always see. This one is a motorcycle shock, like busting out of my skin. Because for those of you that don't know, the power sports are very important to my history and why I'm injured and why I do what I do now for a living and world records and the whole shooting match and my love for motorcycles and all that. So that's what that is. I have I have a couple more motorcycle related tattoos. This one, and the person that did this too. If you were ever on Facebook in any of the guitar groups in the last probably 8 years ago, there's a guy named Painless Wayne, and they call him Painless Wayne because he is probably one of the best tattoo artists in Las Vegas. And a lot of people really didn't like him. And he got kicked out of a lot of Facebook groups, and I got kicked out of a lot of Facebook groups. And anyway, we bonded over the fact that we both got kicked out of a lot of Facebook groups. And I was in Las Vegas, and I said, Wayne, I want you to do one of my tattoos for me. And so he did this one for me, and then he retired shortly after that. So it's kind of cool that he did it. And then this one...
And was that a sketch? Was he a freehand? Maybe it was.
This was I just kind of showed him something on my phone, and then he just did it.
But did he do the purple print, or I thought he
just
freehanded.
freehanded
Okay,
it.
yeah, that's what I thought.
And then this one is a red dragon inside of a guitar pick shape. And what's funny about this is we were in for a work trip in Philadelphia, and my tattoo artist who did a bunch of other work for me on my back, I have a big back piece, had moved there, and I was in Philadelphia for one of your work trips, and the guy was in town, and I was like, hey, can you do a guitar pick for me? And he came back with this big, huge thing. So
that was one of those weird trips, like the power went out, and y'all like chilled on the roof. And
he started the outline, and then the power went out for like 2 hours. And we like went on top of the roof, this cool neighborhood in Philly, just drank beer for a couple hours, hung out, caught up on stuff, and then the power came back on, and he went back down and finished it. Yeah, it was fun.
So we're just going to share ones we can see?
Yeah, I have, on one calf, I have the Norton Commando motorcycle ad on one calf, and then on the other calf, I have Batman. Because I'm a huge Batman. I am Batman. I say that all the time. And then I have a big back piece that has to do with my injury. It goes all the way across from here to here, and from here to all the way down. So yeah, it's 3 big tattoos put together, but it goes all the way across. So yeah.
Am I supposed to talk about mine or no?
Sure. What do you got? You got a bunch of stuff. Yours are all little though.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So this is children's names. You see that one all the time. This one is Butterfly. This is I Love Water and Sun Rays. Mm-hmm. This was my California tattoo. That's what I call it. Mm-hmm. I have Ladybug behind my ear. I have Dandelion. Mm-hmm. And then I have my children's birth flowers on my foot. Mm-hmm. That's it, right? 1, 2,
Pretty
3,
much.
4, 5, 6. Yeah, I have 6. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 7. It's my turn. All right, tattoos. So they all mean something.
Yeah.
The ladybug. So kids' names obviously mean something. The colors are their birth month colors. These both mean something to me. This butterfly. One, I wanted this glitter style tattoo. Really like butterflies. That's its own story. And then it's also a semicolon tattoo. If you know anything about like mental health things. Mm-hmm. I already talked about that one. Ladybug is, that's a funny story. When I bought my first house, it was an old farmhouse. And so if you're not familiar with ladybugs always want to come back to the same spot during like mating season. and apparently in this house that I bought was where they wanted to be. I would have to come home from work every day and literally vacuum. It was tongue and groove board ceilings, and I would just have to vacuum up ladybugs because they were just everywhere. And everybody's like, oh, they're good luck. And I'm like, I friggin' hate ladybugs because it was just such a pain. But when I had my daughter in the hospital, on the wall, single ladybug, it became her nickname from my mother, and it's just been a cool thing that we've always done. So ladybug, and then the dandelion because it's wishes, not a weed.
It's wishes, not a weed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And my foot is birth flowers. Yeah.
Yep.
That makes sense.
There you go.
So Solano speech up. That was a lot of talking. Rick Nardo says monster trucks. Talk about monster trucks.
We've gone a couple times.
Gone a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
We drove by like where Gravedigger lives one time.
In North Carolina.
Was it North Carolina? I can't remember where
We were in Outer Banks, and we were going up to the beach with the horses.
Yes.
And the wild horses on the beach. And
No, I think they lived. It was on the mainland, like coming and going. We didn't see it on the
Oh,
island.
okay, maybe that's right. Maybe you're right.
On the mainland.
I know what you meant. Yeah. Maybe you're right.
That's funny. Let's see. I don't want to. Scott Dreyfus says, I've literally broken the head off my femur and I'm scared to get a tattoo.
Oh.
Wow.
That's gotta hurt, man.
Let's see.
I burnt my fingers on a nacho pan last night.
That was
Oh,
terrible.
it hurt so bad. It's okay now, but
I don't know what.
I couldn't play the guitar today at all. I don't know what I did, and I grabbed it. When I'm really, really in pain, I will lose coordinate, because if I have a really bad pain day, I will lose coordination really bad. I stubbed my toe super bad yesterday, and it still hurts. I put my cowboy boots on yesterday, and I was like, this isn't
Not
good.
working.
I'm going to have to like leave my boots on until my foot feels better.
Rick, I don't know what you're talking about. You said show everybody the picture of the knife. I don't know what that is. Caveat says, Dylan, what motorcycle would you suggest for adventure riding?
If you have all the money, BMW.
It's so funny. So you'd say BMW motorcycle, but not car.
Oh, for sure, yeah. BMW makes the best adventure motor. That is the standard. If I was going to buy one for me right now, because I almost did, I would probably go with... Well, they've got some new stuff coming out, but on the basic side, a Suzuki V-Strom is pretty cool. But I think KTM really has it figured out. I think KTM is the move.
All right, Tony Leonardi has asked this a couple times. Would you be willing to share your experience with the infrared light pad? If so, what device and where?
Oh,
and then he said, could you give me some info on the radiation light device? If it's helping, if so, what and where?
He asked me about that, and I forgot to tell you because
Where
I was wondering.
it? Where was
I don't remember where he
Oh.
asked me, but I'll share it on Facebook or something, a link to it.
Yes, it's working.
Yes, it's working.
It's really good. I don't know if they have, do they have an affiliate program?
We had an affiliate. We were on their affiliate program.
We
and
might still be then.
Nobody ever bought anything. I think we
Oh.
got kicked off.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can send it to you either way.
Yeah, I'll still share it. It's awesome.
That's bordering on like health things, so you don't like want to make recommendations. So I don't want to like
Right.
share it with everyone. But if you're specifically asking, we can.
Yeah, it's been working for me.
Yeah, and I really like it too. It seems to like knock out headaches for me, which is strange. I don't know how it works. I do not understand it. I've tried to understand it. It's like magic. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway,
So I don't know how he can reach you.
he
but-
can
Okay.
he can Facebook me.
Eric Lettinger. Dylan, have you ever created or produced your own line of knives they would sell?
No, that's a whole nother area that is very interesting, and I think you really have to go into it with the purpose. It's like guitar stuff. You have to go into it with the purpose of the passion before the money, and I don't have the bandwidth right now to do anything like that. We're concentrating so hard on Dylan Talks Tone and business development right now to make sure that we continue to survive through whatever economic conditions come our way in the next couple of years. And so I'm really concentrating on Dylan Talks Tone right now, big time. As much as I would love to have a line of knives. I'm more interested in having a line of whiskey, but bourbon, but nobody's hit me up for that yet.
You read this one because I don't know how to say any of those names. Sir Sneaker Pimp asks,
What do you think of... Oh, Vol's going to Williams. I think this is a strategic move by Wolf to have Williams as a Mercedes B team, a la Alpha Tauri for Red Bull. Yep, they've always been that. I mean, that's why George ended up at Mercedes, because Williams has kind of always been, or at least for quite a while anyway. Not always, because Williams was kind of the last unaffiliated sort of team, but I think in the last 4 or 5 years they've been a satellite team for Mercedes, kind of, pretty much.
yeah, I have no idea if I'm supposed to know what some big Dundee knife is. I don't know what we're talking about, or
Oh, okay.
where it lives, if I'm supposed to have it. Rick Nardo says, favorite classic book. No one ever asks stuff like that.
What's your favorite classic book?
Fahrenheit 454.
1.
51. Yes. I was like, what?
That's classic? I guess for you it would be.
What makes it a classic? What am I
I
supposed
don't know.
to say?
I don't know what makes it a classic.
It's a banned book. That should count for something.
So I would go all the way
A
back.
banned book about banned books.
Right. For my childhood, like to go all the way back to childhood, I mean, I remember reading Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer.
I read those too.
And now that I live in the South,
Oh, I thought it was racist when I read them, and I was like in the
they're
5th grade.
so terrible.
Yeah.
Like, no one should read them. Terrible.
They probably don't anymore.
Probably not.
I like the Scarlet Letter, but that's not any better.
I know. I would say, so it's hard for me to say anything so I don't read a lot of fiction. I used to read every Tom Clancy book. I've read every Tom Clancy book ever.
Maybe
In
not.
hard copy.
Maybe not. Probably not in the last 10 years. He still writes.
Well, he's dead.
Oh, he doesn't
Tom
write
Clancy's dead.
anymore? I don't know then. Maybe not.
Yeah. I've read a bunch of Robert Ludlum. I've read a bunch of Isaac Asimov.
This is all I knew you.
Yeah. Isaac Asimov was...
He doesn't read.
is all, Ender's Game and all that stuff. Now I use audiobooks, and so now I've read/listened to all the Jack Carr stuff, and I'm more nonfiction now. I've actually read Rise and Fall of the Third Reich by William Shearer. It's this thick with no pictures. I've read that entire book. Nonfiction is my thing most of the time. I'm trying to work on a Malcolm Gladwell book right now, but...
That is an awesome comment. Okay, so somebody just said, is this a book club? So if you just got here and you've not been here before, after 9 o'clock, it is no longer a guitar topic. But this is what somebody sent. Greetings from Australia, but it's upside down. I love that.
That's amazing.
Thanks, Mario Navarrete, for being here. And I love the way you typed that out. All right. So... I don't know what y'all's classic books are. Or did that count as classic book?
I mean, Fahrenheit
Nardo.
451 is pretty legit.
Fox Guitars Rock says, suggestions for really bad heartburn?
Oh, I have that.
Right now?
No, I might. Stop eating sugar for a week.
Just a week, huh?
Mm-hmm. See what happens. See if you still have it. That seems to be the trigger for me.
All right. Sir Sneaker Pimp says, how did you two cool cats meet? School? A racetrack? Fat Philosopher said, what attracted you to Dylan in the first place besides his handsome face? We did not meet in school or at a racetrack.
That is a long story.
That was a long time ago.
Yes.
So we both had so congratulations on 10 years, right? But neither one of us have been married as long as we were the first time.
Right.
So there's some history and age revealing a little bit there. But
work stuff, really.
we met through, different work interests.
Yep.
That's really it.
And started talking,
I
actually.
don't know that it was,
We actually started
it
talking
wasn't on
about
purpose.
vegan stuff.
and so it wasn't attraction, I don't think, because that
Just kinda
wasn't
happened.
while we were talking.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
We just kind of started talking about, there was some work stuff, and then there was like, oh, you're vegan? Hey, I'm having a problem with this, blah, blah. And she made some suggestions, and we just started talking, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yep. Pretty much as literally as normal as this conversation is, like pretty much just talking.
Yeah. So we joked earlier about how long we've been together. Like we didn't know each other long before, period.
Yeah.
Scott Dreyfus says that's why they call them starter wives. I've never even heard that term before. Starter wives.
I don't know.
I mean, I didn't have a starter wife. That's weird.
Yeah.
Let's see. People are sharing some ideas for heartburn, I think.
That's so funny.
Super funny. All right. Fox Guitars Rock also wants to know, what's the best brand of work boots? I have no idea.
I don't know because I don't work in boots. I don't know.
Brianna probably gets boot vouchers now.
She probably does. Our daughter works at Amazon, so they have to wear particular kind of stuff. I mean, Red Wing was always the name, right? But I don't know if that's even still...
It is still a thing. Some people said that, but I don't feel like that's what's popular here. Because we have a lot of plants here.
Mm-hmm.
And they all get boot vouchers. But I can't remember.
Because there's the Red Wing store over by the Sam's Club.
Yeah, but that's not where they go. They go to the, I don't even know where he's at anymore. He used to be right down the road. I can't even remember what it's called. It was just a boot store, and then they sold, like, Carhartt jackets. Like, that was it. It was just, like, out, work gear.
Yeah.
I literally can't remember what it's called.
I don't know. I wear cowboy boots, so...
Yeah.
But I don't work in them, per se.
My favorite work shoes are no shoes.
Same.
But
Yep.
I also work at home.
Yep. Me too.
Angel Raven 444 says, R.I.P. Robbie Knievel. Have you drank with him, rode with, seen, or have any stories about Robbie?
I don't have any Robbie stories. I have friends that have Robbie stories. I have been to events where I was doing other things. So, but I don't really have any personal connection to Robbie. I do have friends that knew him very well. Yep.
All right, so now I'm caught up. So now we can take these as they're coming in.
Okay.
Because I made a joke about I didn't have a starter wife, but he told me I was one.
Dang!
I never thought about it from that perspective. Anyway.
That is really funny.
Sir Sneaker Pimp says, not a question. I met Tom Clancy at a book signing, and I have his first 10 personally autographed.
Dang! That's
really
pretty
cool.
sweet. That's cool.
I have no idea what Windsurf Maui. This isn't relevant to anything, but I just learned today they are bringing back the TV show Justified. I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what that is
Same
either.
lead character Tim Oliphant, but set in Detroit instead of Kentucky.
I have no idea what
Never
that
heard of
is.
Steve Rezer said, "I got you through the stomach." I guess that's a vegan joke. I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
All right, I'm caught up. People are still talking amongst themselves about F1. Now they're talking about shoes and work boots.
Yep.
It's 9:40.
I'm all about some boots, some cowboy boots, though.
Anybody else got anything?
That's what she got me for my anniversary, actually.
Yes.
Was a new pair of cowboy boots. And
Somebody did ask.
Love them.
What I got. That was like way early.
Oh, for your anniversary?
Yeah. So we got. I don't have it on. We got. Because we got married rather quickly.
And we were both broke.
We were both broke, and we kept it really simple, and I don't care about a lot of things, but we had some pretty basic rings that have got us by for 10 years, but I still don't know that I cared. But apparently it was important to Dylan, so he got me a new ring, like a real one. And so then we got him a new ring, and then we just bought a new car, so, like, we're done.
Yeah. We joked about that. Like, I got her heated seats and a sunroof, and she got me a turbocharger, so.
Yeah. And then we got the windows tinted today, so, like,
Yeah.
now we'll be on a spending freeze. Anniversary was fun.
Anniversary was fun. She did get me a pair of boots, though.
I did. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. She got me a pair of Lucchese.
Because he would have bought them had he not just bought me a ring. So.
Yeah, that's true,
I was
too.
like, I'll buy you
I would have, because there was
I
some.
came out better, y'all. Just saying.
I know what it was. It was that they hadn't been in stock for months and months and months and months because they were this particular cut of Cayman that I wanted, and they weren't in stock for months and months and months and months. And I got an email notification, or I think I'm on their text thing. I think I'm on Lucchese's like junk text thing when they get new boots in. And I was like, oh man, of course now these boots come in, and now I don't know. I'm going to get them anyway. And I literally walked in here, and I was about to order them, and she's like, let me get them for you. So.
You didn't tell me that. I thought you weren't going to buy them.
Well,
Why did I buy them?
No, I literally was like going back and forth about it, and I had
just let you buy them if you were going to
and
buy
I
them.
kind of decided I wasn't going to. And she came in and she's like, "Do you really want them?" I'm like, "Yep." And she's like, "Fine, I'm gonna just get them for you."
Uh-huh.
So we don't do surprisey stuff really that well.
We're terrible at it.
At all. We don't surprise each other with stuff. We just do it.
Jeff Hughes says, I'm guessing your pickups are going in Badlands guitars. Confirm?
Nope.
I know that's a guitar question, but let's dispel any rumors.
No.
Ira Tiger Bomb says, have you seen the film Death Proof?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, really? I don't know what that is. Caveat says, Leslie Dillon, do you still have that new spouse scent?
I don't know what that is. That sounds gross.
I mean, I think I smell like me all the time.
Me too. I mean, I think I smell like me.
You think I smell like
yeah,
you?
I think you smell like you. Yeah.
All right.
Guess that's
Caught up again.
Getting close, huh?
That was only 3 minutes.
Cool. Well, I mean, that's okay too. I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out with us for these live streams on Thursdays. I like doing them. They're fun.
Yes, and thank you for all the super chats. Thank you. I know you're still here. Thank you for the flowers.
Yeah, that you sent us today. And so, funny story about that, I'll tell you. So, we don't get our mail here. We live in an apartment complex, and I don't trust the mail room. They have like a mail room, but we have too many. Like, if somebody stole a box of pickup wire, then I couldn't work for like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Or a week or something while I waited for more. Like, it would be devastating to me if our mail got stolen. because of what we do for work and how we get our parts and everything. So we have all of our packages, and our legal mailing address is actually her mom's house. Because it was when we were on the road, so we just left it there when we got back. So that means that when this person ordered our flowers today, we didn't know, and we get a phone call from her dad, and it's like, hey, some flowers just showed up for you. And so we had to go get them.
So we could put them in the
so
shop.
we could put them. I was like, we better go get them right away,
they're really
so that we
nice.
would have them here
I don't know if
tonight.
you can see them.
Yeah, you might as well bring them over here. So anyway, it's just kind of a funny story. We actually had to go to her mom's house, and there's pretty colors on the back too.
Mm-hmm. Pretty colors all around. And
Yeah.
it's kind of perfect because I love purple. I don't know if there was any thought or if you said anything. for
Or
what
if you
they
had any
did,
control of the
but
colors, but
I really
Yeah.
like it.
it's pretty cool.
And it smells really awesome.
Yeah. So, thank you for that, and thank everybody for coming and hanging out. I like how the globe lights up with the.
I know.
Cool.
I told him it looked like I should get a beta fish after because it looks like a little beta fish bowl.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Sir Sneaker Pimp's asked a couple times, Dylan, have you been able to watch the Amazon Moto GP series?
No, I'm gonna go look for that right now and put it on my little thing so that I get it. I don't click over to Amazon very often. I've been watching not as much television.
He's still watching. He said, I remember you liked purple. I didn't think that could be a coincidence. So thank you.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I appreciate it, man. This has been super fun. And I hope everybody has a good night. And maybe we will see you tomorrow, or maybe we will see you Monday.
I mean, I'm going to see you tomorrow.
You're going to see me tomorrow.
And Monday.
And Monday.
Oh, well.
See y'all.